we are getting game 2 ready, because again, this is a best of 3, so Flame is Lame have a chance to turn this around and force out that third game. Exclamation point Matcherino in the chat. HH Tempo 2 for the code that will add a $1 donation to the prize pool. These teams are playing out of their minds. They're shaking up the competitive scene at the amateur level. Show thanks. Take a moment out of your time, add a $1 to the donation. Or you can actually get other things from Tempo Storm. We are a partner with Tempo Storm this series. Thanks to them. You can get a coaching session with the Kitsune of Heroes, not too shabby. There's t-shirts, jerseys, and things like that available. Help out. Add to the prize pool.
It would be very, very kind of you guys to do the HH Tempo 2. It's the free $1, and like Lauren was saying, I will coach you if you so want it. The sessions are available on the Match Arena, so check it out.
So, Kyle, I have a question for you.
Yo.
When you coach someone, will it be like Empire Strikes Back? Will you be like Yoda on their back as they're running through the seedy swamps of Dagobah?
Of course, dude. Every time. Yeah. That's a prerequisite. You need to be able to support me both physically and apparently financially. There you go. Yeah, no, I have to wrap myself around your back. I also have like green face paint and like loincloth and stuff like that I wear, of course.
Oh man, touche. You took it there. Well played, sir. Well played. Not ready, are you?
Oh, you're so good at that. The only thing I can do is Chewbacca. That's all I got.
This man has many talents. We are in Le Yabi, though. I'm gonna go ahead and join on that.
Sky Temple. Is this our last game of the night? Who knows?
It very well could be. Now, Kala, you're the coach of a premier esports organization in North America, representing on the world stage. So I feel like you are best to ask over anyone in this situation. Your Flame is Lame. You've had a dominant performance all night. You get to the grand finals. You have a game 1 to where individual players show signs of brilliance, only it's not enough, and you go down game 1. How do you rally the troops and keep the momentum and energy high and show up strong for game 2? What do you say?
Don't draft responsively. And not to, I said responsively, not responsibly, remember. Do draft responsibly. But like, I felt like the Medivh was a response to like shrine control that their opponents had in Firm Handshake. And they didn't look very comfortable with it. Maybe it was also a response to the fact that they had an Arthas, but draft something that you have played a lot and that you have won with. Like, I find too often teams get into these situations and they're like, we have to deny what our opponents have, or we have to counterpick what our opponents have. And it's like, no, dude, just pick what is tried and true and what you're good with. Force your opponents to use the mentality that you're using right there, because immediately you're playing from the back foot at that point, because it's not something that you've practiced, right? Or like something that you've built up a lot of synergy with. So just play a draft that you're tried and true with, and just execute it the way that you normally do, and just you have to just convince your teammates that you just got to win one more game. Even if your Flame is Lame right now, you just got to win that one more game, and then next game you got to win one more, right? Like, you just got to focus on the current game at hand, and that's all they have to think about right now. They have to think about Sky Temple, they have to think about statistically what their team is good at, and they have to put their heroes on comfort picks.
Well said, man. Very well said, and I hope that's the message that gets passed on to Flame is Lame. It would be interesting if they, if they did draft Medivh as a response, because I feel like that'd be the first time tonight we saw them respond to what the enemy team was doing, and in that situation, it seems that they faltered. You see the immediate ban on Nubarak, wasting no time. Now, what's interesting is Sky Temple was the selection for Flame is Lame. I do believe they're on the left side, so they were like, "Hey, we want the home turf. We want to go."
Flame is Lame's on the left here.
Flame is Lame's
right.
on the right.
Perfect. So,
okay,
yeah.
so Flame is Lame was like, I want the first pick. Okay.
There we go. Firm Handshake just deciding to ban off the Tassadar. Again, I think that's a fantastic decision, just considering the comfort level that Flame is Lame is putting on that pick, and the fact that they just really want it. And they pick the Dahaka first. All right. Just a really strong hero on this map. They're looking to play that global game. So this is, what is this, the second time now we've seen Dahaka? Yeah, the first time was Corgi's team. So yeah. Dahaka, still just fantastic on this patch. We only saw a 10-second nerf on Brush Stalker, so I love this pickup for Flame is Lame.
I'm a little salty that it's not Rubber Ducky Dahaka, but I'll take it. So.
Hey, hey, they can still switch.
There's still time. I hold out hope. The 1-2 selection is here now, though, for old Firm Handshake, who delivered quite the backhand for game 1.
Yeah.
Got to feel pretty good about things overall. You're going up against Dahaka so far. That's what you see. That's global pressure. That's lockdown. That's wave clear. In your 1-2, where do you go? Do you go for the Uther again?
It is. I think it is because Heyo loves the hero, and he's shown prowess with it in the past. So, in spirit of I was gonna say Uther Malthael or Uther Greymane, and we do see the Uther Malthael. It's gonna be difficult to kill, man. Like, you tongue that Malthael, and he's just gonna stay alive because of Guardian, even though it has been nerfed to the 50 armor. It's still substantial, and on a hero that inherently survives through an apocalypse, anyways. Both literally the ability and just like an actual apocalypse. He's not gonna die with 50 armor, man.
I wonder if we're gonna see. I thought we might see Ariel Vala, but we saw what Deadly Ice was doing to people's face on Genji. And we've seen what's happened when shot lands the right hook.
Mm-hmm.
One could do worse.
True. So, Stitch's Genji Dahaka picked up for Flame is lame. There's so many things that could be banned off here.
I think this is an Ariel ban.
Yeah, because again, they've shown a lot of comfort on it, but like Ariel Vala to round this off, I don't... It could very well be, you're right, because it doesn't play into the Guardian of Ancient Kings as much as perhaps different heroes would. The only thing really there is the detainment, but I think that'll actually be a decent ban. Force them onto something else. Ban off the heroes that they've shown comfort with. They've done it already in the first ban. Why not do it again in the second?
They're going to hover to Cassie. We haven't seen Cassie at all tonight, but she does a ton of damage in the right situation. And as I'm thinking about the Ariel ban, I can see how conceptually there is some counter synergy between Ariel and Genji.
Yes,
I mean, Genji's a high mobility hero that works in his favor and against him as far as Ariel chasing him down, trying to land those heals. If you spin the heal way out there trying to keep Genji alive, you're not maximizing the damage by clumping together. So I can see why you'd potentially leave Ariel on the board. Cassie is going to be the ban. I'm wondering if that's targeted, because without seeing Cassie at all tonight, I wasn't expecting to see her there at all.
Myself either, actually. I didn't expect it whatsoever. It would have been okay into this draft, but the Diablo actually banned off for Firm Handshake. They said we just don't want to see it again, basically. And they've showed comfort with it already, so why not? Both of these teams just kind of banning those comfort picks. Traditionally Diablo isn't seen banned off, nor is Cassia in these situations, but you see them coming out. Perhaps Firm Handshake knows a little bit more than we do about the tendencies of Flame is Lame, and that's where the Cassie came from. But we do see the Li Ming and Greymane picked up. I love the Greymane. The Li Ming, I think, will also be strong here, and just the damage coming out from Firm Handshake. Like, you've got the Malthael, you got the Li Ming, you got the Greymane. Like, it's pretty scary, man.
That's not a handshake, man. That is a direct punch to the face.
Yeah.
Go for the throat. Cooldown resets. Li Ming, cooldown resets. Synergy there. Curse bullet against Stitches. That's going to raise his brow.
Yeah,
Dahaka,
absolutely.
The same. I feel like for supports, if you're on the side of Flame is Lame, your best bet is to go Kharazim and take Divine Palm. I don't know what else could really get there in time to stop this kind of burst if it all lands.
Now, okay, I'm wondering if it's a Rhaegar pickup for their support as well. What is their other damage dealer? I feel like it's got to be Rhaegar plus something.
Lunara? I was
okay,
wondering.
We saw this earlier. Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Well, it was with this damage pairing that we saw Flame is Lame. I feel look their strongest that they have so far tonight.
Yeah.
Deadly Ice on Genji, Legend on Lunara. They are no strangers to burst themselves, but the Tyrael definitely shakes things up. I think we'll see Sanctification instead of Judgment this time.
Ooh,
so as impressive, I would hope so.
I think so too.
So as impressive as that damage pairing was before, they were going up against a Judgment Tyrael and not a Sanctification Tyrael. I don't know who got the upper hand in this draft.
No, me either. Like the Lunara Ariel, like Lunara's a decent battery, and Ariel healing is a pretty decent response to the Malthael spread damage. But man, I feel like she's just going to be working overtime. Like the burst damage coming out with the Greymane, and then on top of that, like Malthael's just going to be chunking down everyone, and there's really no CC to try to like, kill him immediately. Lunar's damage is super slow, and on top of Malthael just getting so many heals from all the bodies of Flame is Lame, I really think it's going to be almost impossible to kill the Malthael.
It's going to be rough because they're relying on stuns to set him up long enough to get the takedown. Guardian of the Ancient Kings, 50 armor, that's going to have a thing or two to say about that. But this is game 2. On the left side, we have Firm Handshake. Lex Luthor is going to be playing Tyrael. Vestige is on Malthael. Necromongers is playing Li Ming. D. Steve's on Greymane. And round it out on Luthor.
And on the right in red is a Flame is Lame. We got Trap Queen playing the Genji, Shot on Stitches, Legend playing Lunar, Deadly Ice, on Dahaka, and Dark Chimera playing the Ariel.
I am excited to see how this plays out. I think there are obvious and apparent merits to both teams' compositions. It's all going to come down to execution. Firm Handshake have shown they know how to do that. We've seen Flame is Lame all night look very strong as a team. When these two titans collide, it's going to be special.
Very true. Trap Queen playing the Genji this time, no longer Deadly Ice on that hero. And a difference in builds, too. We see the Agile dismount coming out for the Genji instead of Swift as the Wind. So rotation for Firm Handshake coming in, going mid-top. They're looking to prioritize these lanes. They do have the... I would say probably the stronger laning phase. They just have to watch out for the Stitches hooks, really. But, there's not a whole lot of follow-up there. Shot taking a crazy amount of damage from Li Ming here in the middle. And actually the rotation bottom and Malthael gets picked off. Holy moly.
Yeah, that was some aggressive positioning from Malthael. The moment he saw Genji show up, he should just look to exit stage left and avoid the drag.
Yep.
He just kept dancing around, like trying to use the teleport over the back for some kind of fancy escape. And they were just like, all right, well, if you're just going to stand here, we'll just auto-attack you to death. Like, we're perfectly fine with this. Early advantage for Flame is Lame.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of prioritization on the bottom lane from Firm Handshake, so we do see the response from Flame is Lame top side. They're doing a little bit of damage to the structures, but nothing too substantial. I know both of these temples coming up. Looks like Flame is Lame's probably going to try to take this top one, just push out the wave, and Shot's just trying to deal with this middle lane.
In spite of the early takedown, both teams are pretty much exactly even on experience. Dahaka left to their own devices in the bot lane, as well as Shot on Stitches in the mid lane. Should have a thing or two to say about that. Their experience catapults towards level 4, and that could have some huge implications. You see the rotation up towards the top, and they might just be setting themselves up for a bad time once level 4 shows up.
Yeah, level 4 just about here for Flame is Lame. The Brush Shocker did come out, and so top temple still taken by Flame is Lame, and now Firm Handshake looking to rotate up. Tyrael is coming down, but Flame is Lame do see that because obviously missing on the middle, and they back away and don't die.
All right, both teams keeping things pretty even so far. I was wondering if we'd see some aggressive play at some point out of either one of these teams. Well, Flame is Lame, they're in an interesting spot. They've looked strong all night. They've been the aggressors, but now they find themselves down a game. So I'm wondering if that's inspiring a more conservative approach to this match.
Yeah, perhaps it is the reason why they're playing that way. Also, the Shuriken build coming in for the Genji. My preferred build. The hook does land on Lex Luthor, but nothing to follow up there. And I think we got a 3-2-3 going on here. Haloran has left the game. So Flame is Lame prioritizing their hard camp early. 3 minutes into this, they're looking to maybe take that out and then just push top as hard as they can, or perhaps rotate the Dahaka up there. Meanwhile, the response from Firm Handshake also coming in at the exact same time. Level 4 talents obviously available for both of these teams, and now we see Flame is Lame actually just abandoning their top. It looks like Deadly Ice is walking up there, like I was saying. The Dahaka gonna push top, but responded by Tyrael. And now both of these teams taking their easy camps in preparation for the Shrine bottom. And we do see a rotation from Flame is Lame coming in onto Firm Handshake here. The hook does land onto Heo. The follow-up Detainment Strike is there. Now Heo is in a lot of trouble. The damage is there to secure the kill as well. Shot down to half health, but nothing to follow up. So nice rotation from Flame is Lame to pick up a kill. And now level 7's coming in very shortly, and this is actually pretty substantial because now they're able to just walk up, clear the siege camp from Firm Handshake, and now look to gain some structural advantage on the bottom side. Meanwhile, top side, Deadly Ice is pushing in with that Dahaka, trying to de-pushing with the Dahaka, trying to deal with the hard camp that's pushing in from Firm Handshake. Tyrael showing that he is, a little bit of a monster in that lane with the shields onto the minions. And on the bottom side again is basically the story of the Lunara Ariel Genji. You know, they have a resourceless support. The hook does land onto the Vestige, but you know, he uses his E. The Detainment Strike lands onto the tower as well, but no damage to follow up and secure a kill. Now, Temple's activated very shortly. Tap's actually available for most heroes here. Legend does walk back and grab that. Dahaka does back, and you expect him to. He's actually aggressively brush stalking immediately. Flame is Lame just want to try to take this temple early and try to secure themselves a fort here. Lex Luthor does position in a little bit on this Tyrael. Both these teams just kind of gauging the situation here. Shot taking a little bit of damage. Both these teams just kind of evening out here. Flame is Lame does take the advantage over these trades. D-Steve's actually taking a lot of damage, and now Dark Chimera caught out on the Ariel as she goes down. Deadly Ice now on the backside of this fight as well, trying to deal as much damage to Firm Handshake as possible. The tongue lands onto Lex Luthor, and that's a kill, and another bit of CC there. And that is actually a 2 for 2, so completely traded evenly here. However, Heyo is still alive for Firm Handshake, so there is still the sustain there. Deadly Ice, Shot, Trap Queen positioning up. They say, we don't care if they have the support. We want to take this fight. Shot now positioning up, looking at Vestige on that mouth hill. Deadly Ice taking a massive amount of damage. Vestige just overextended a little bit. Now Trap Queen on the backside getting healed by Heyo, but is it enough to... Oh, it is actually. Oh my gosh. Shot now just bloodthirsty looking for the hook, and it doesn't land. Now, only a few shots left onto this shrine, and Shot standing on it. Getting the shots over there for Flame is Lame. 10's coming in soon, and Dahaka positioning top for the team in red, looking to pick up that level 10 as soon as possible. Both of these teams just gonna try to gain some sort of lane advantage in between these temple phases here. I would say it definitely goes into the favor of Flame is Lame because, you know, they have the global, and globals are just so strong on this map. You know, structure advantage is going over to Flame is Lame, and we do see level 10s coming in as well. We've got the Putrid Bile there for the Stitches. Dragon Blade, Adaptation, Crystal Aegis, pretty standard stuff. The only thing that hasn't been picked up yet is Lunara's Heroic, so. Flame is Lame positioning in. They want that siege camp again. You know, Shot is in the middle on the Stitches, just pushing out that lane, forcing his opponents to kind of lose on multiple fronts here. Yeah, and the siege camp taken away for Flame is Lame. They do have the level 10. Firm Handshake are like, no, we are not dealing with this at the moment. And the brush truck actually coming in. D-Steve's a little bit caught out. Lex Luthor now uses the Eldrin's Might, but he just walks away. D-Steve's able to disengage as well. Now, Lex Luthor actually takes the sword and drops the Sanctification at like 4% health. The shield comes out. The Dragon Blade as well. Shot on the front side of this fight with the Putrid Bile, doing a massive amount of damage. Uther does go down. Trap Queen on the backside with the Dragon Blade is doing a huge amount of damage as well. And that's actually 2 for nothing for Flame is Lame. They push in and they manage to take this team fight. Now, Flame is Lame looking to just push out this mid lane, just kind of control the mid-bottom. And I would expect them to have their eyes on at least a little bit of fort damage. You know, you've got the Lunara, you've got the Genji as well, so that's something you can certainly try to do. Yeah, but Flame is Lame posturing up, trying to take these forts away, because we know that is the story of this map, right? When these temples come up, they prioritize the structures. Of course, that's what they attack, so the more structures you're able to take out, the better off you are. The tongue lands onto D-Steve's, but the heal from Heyo comes out, proccing the Guardian of Ancient Kings. So that's going to be a lively Borker indeed.
My magic.
You know, both of these teams just backing off, grabbing their taps if they can. Actually only available for Flame is Lame, and now Flame is Lame targeting the siege camp. Yeah, looking to grab some lane pressure here. The Eldrin's does come out, secures the safety for Lex Luthor, but now actually Legend chasing in on the Lunara. Vestige on the bottom side of this fight. The hook does land onto the Tyrael as well, and now Vestige popping his Heroic on the Malthael. The Divine Shield comes out, and he's diving onto the backline. The Aegis comes out as well, and now Malthael just gets completely isolated. There goes the Dragon Blade. Genji is taking a crazy amount of damage too. Now that's a 1-for-1, but Lunara is not done yet. The hook does land onto D-Steve's, and the go for the throat is almost enough to kill him. Legend is just barely alive. The Sanctification comes out to try to save the rest of Firm Handshake, and now Deadly Ice on the backside of this fight goes down on the Dahaka, and that's actually the favorable trade for Firm Handshake. Now they're just going to be looking at trying to regulate their health bars and steal the temple. And honestly, level 13 was almost there for Flame is Lame. just weren't able to get theirs before this fight broke out. And I wouldn't call it a misplay, more as a, you know, they got the first pick of that, but I think they just tried to bite off a little bit more than they could chew in that situation. You know, Lunar wasn't able to push up too much into that fight because she was just so low in terms of health bar there. And now Firm Handshake do see the rotation from Flame is Lame. They commit 4 members at the top side of this map with Dahaka there as well. And okay, it looks like they are going to back off. Stitches does walk up and show onto the boss. So 13's here for Flame is Lame. Now it's just a little bit too spooky for Firm Handshake to try to contest. So they do decide to back off from this one. Flame is Lame, walking back, resetting, taking their hard camp off the top side of the map, looking to get some pressure up there. Meanwhile, the Haka is positioned onto the top temple, taking those shots for free. You know, he does. His dino senses are tingling, and he walks away from the engagement potential from Firm Handshake. But 13s are available for Flame is Lame, like I said, and you know, soon to be here for Firm Handshake as well. So I would actually expect a fight to break out any moment here. Genji walking up, poking a little bit with those shuriken. You know, Shot is looking for a hook as well. I mean, he is bloodthirsty. We've seen him land so many of those on the Stitches today, so proving invaluable for his team. And the Haka able to just position up onto this temple, gaining a good amount of value here. And now it looks like Firm Handshake want to press in. They can't go too far though because the fort is still available for Flame is Lame, as well as the eye here to gain vision. And the Ice now looking for the flank and the lick. Legend positioning up a little bit of damage, and the Ice now looking at the turret. He does land the drag. Oh my gosh, the Divine Shield is just enough to save from that detainment strike. That was such a fantastic job by Dark Chimera. The leaping strike goes in onto Lex Luthor, who is not done yet. Actually, the dive from D-Steve as well, trying to trade some of that damage. Now both these teams are just done dealing with. They want to disengage. You know, pretty major heroics used from or on the side of Firm Handshake. We saw the go for the throat and the Divine Shield both come out, and now Flame is Lame realize this, and they are invading. The Dahaka is in the middle of this camp. The hook does land, but only onto a minion. These Steve's God indeed. The camp does go over to Firm Handshake, but the Aegis comes out as well as the Sanctification. Now, Flame is Lame is caught on the inside of this fight. Shot taking a massive amount of damage, but the Dragon Blade is enough to secure 2 kills. That's another one. Deadly Ice now on the backside of this fight as well, doing a massive amount of damage on the Dahaka. And Dark Chimera keeping most of his team alive through that, and that's actually a 3-for-2 trade for Flame is Lame. The camp does go over to Firm Handshake, but the experience differential is growing and growing and growing onto the team with the Dahaka. So the Dragon Blade was actually so huge there. Excellent job by the Genji. It's a pretty crazy position for Flame is Lame too. You know, but you do gain a lot of value in your situations like that, and you're not getting CC'd on the Dragon Blade because you can just swipe and swipe and swipe, just like we saw there. So, same being said, the Malthael also gains insane value from situations like that. So I was actually expecting that to go more in the favor of Firm Handshake, but nice job by Flame is Lame to win that team fight. And now 16's coming in just a moment. You know, a full level lead. Boss is up. 2 people for Firm Handshake showing on the top side of this map. They realize that, you know, Shrine is bottom. They just want to trade this fort and try to equal out the experience differential, and Flame is Lame realizes this. They immediately start the boss, and this is such a fantastic call. This boss is going to be on the keep wall as well as the temple spawn bottom. Lex Luthor walking up, just having a look at the situation. You know, no theft available for Firm Handshake, and yeah, the fort is traded for a boss. I'm not sure if that is the greatest call. Actually, the backs started for Flame is Lame? No, please don't back. That's not the call. Okay, no, they kept it. They kept it. We're going. Flame is Lame, positioning bottom. We got the Dahaka on the temple, and now Firm Handshake hit their 16s. They are looking for a fight. Vestige just sitting on the boss. Actually, Li Ming getting caught out. The Genji doing crazy damage onto this spellcaster, and she goes down in a hurry. Lex Luthor also taking over half of his health there from the beginning of this fight, and the boss still super healthy. Meanwhile, the temple is still completely available, and this boss is going to get a keep with the temple, so long as they can get a little bit of damage going in. Flame is Lame decide to back off, and you know, they are looking to contest this. Absolutely, the Sanctification isn't available for Firm Handshake, and all heroics are available across the board for Flame is Lame, so this is definitely their fight to take. Firm Handshake realizes this. They don't want to take the fight without Sanct, pushing out the mid wave, looking to maybe just grab some structures wherever they can. They're getting kind of desperate at in this situation. You know, they need to start either taking some fight wins or start taking some heavy structures away from their opponents, because that's a keep that goes down for Firm Handshake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's down. So that's a keep for a hard camp at the end of the day, plus the sanctification, obviously. Firm Handshake in a little bit of a tough situation. You know, they don't have their keep now. Catapults are going to be flooding down onto the bottom lane, and they're against a Dahaka, so he's going to just be gladly pushing up that lane, you know, pretty safely on the Dahaka. Firm Handshake positioning mid, again, just trying to take some structures there. They're grouped as 5. This is pretty much all they can do. They need to look for a fight before Flame is Lame hits level 20. The hook does land out onto Heo, but it looks like he can just kind of walk to safety here. It's going to be really difficult for Firm Handshake to take a fight in those situations too, right? Because the fort is completely available in the mid lane for Flame is Lame, and they can just walk away to it and be completely safe. As well as, you know, their main kill target's going to probably be the Lunara or perhaps the Genji, and Lunara's a pretty slippery hero, so. Siege camp taken for Firm Handshake. Both these teams just safely positioning. Meanwhile, Dahaka is pushing the top lane, generating some of that lane pressure. Now, Firm Handshake looking for that fight. Lex Uther does get hit by the hook, and the Holy Ground comes out to try to stop Shot from backing away, but just not quite in the right spot to keep him into the fight. Now, Siege Camp looking for Firm Handshake. The dig from Dahaka doesn't come out, so Firm Handshake just take away both these Siege Camps. The hook comes out, just missing. Flame is Lame. 4 of them positioned down on the bottom side here. Dahaka not willing to commit. A little bit of a miscommunication. The bile goes out and no follow-up. So now Flame is Lame is actually at the disadvantage when it comes to heroics. I would expect them to send at least one bot here to try to clear this siege camp so that the catapults gain value, and we do see the Dahaka rotating down. Now the rest of Flame is Lame, positioning against Firm Handshake here in the middle lane. The hook lands onto Tyrael. No follow-up damage available there. Both these teams just kind of posturing each other. Flame is Lame deciding, do they want the fight or do they want to wait for 20? You know, lots of damage actually dealt onto the side of Firm Handshake. Flame is Lame looking at this. The Dahaka is looking to dig, but he's not sure if he wants to do it yet. You know, he decides to walk back to the lane, generate a little bit more pressure. Meanwhile, like I said, Firm Handshake taking a lot of damage. We see DOTs across the entire board here. Legend positioning very, very well. The hook lands onto Lex Uther, and now we might see the commitment. The Leaping Strike goes out onto Tyrael. So much damage coming out on the Firm Handshake. The Bile comes out as well as the Aegis, and same with the Brush Truck. Now it's the Genji who drops the Dragon Blade, gets 1 kill, looking for that second one onto D. Steves. The Leaping Strike comes out and gets another kill. Trap Queen now on the backside looking at Heo. He wants that kill onto the Uther. A few more auto attacks are going to seal the deal, and that is 3 for nothing, 4 for nothing. Flame is Lane cleaning up this team fight with like, oh no, the minions, no, not like this, please. F in the chat. Lunara goes down to 1 auto attack from the minions. Level 20s here for Flame is Lame, and they're looking at just trying to take as many structures as possible now at this point. 4 for, I guess let's say 4 for 1. It's pretty funny. I love it. Nice try, Legend. The fact that he just stayed like, you know, 10% at the very beginning or very end there, it's pretty much been the story of him. Like, his positioning on Lunar is pretty fantastic. He knows what he can get away with, so I commend you on that play, my dude. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of this map, the catapults are pushing in. We've got Dahaka positioning on this top temple, just looking at getting some damage done to structures again. 25% or so left on the shots. Firm Handshake, just looking at positioning and trying to get as much soak as humanly possible, because the next fight that they can realistically take is that 20-20. You know, they're not out of the game just yet. So they take that 20-20, they win that fight, they grab a boss, they push a keep, they can end the game very well. Especially with, you know, the amount of damage that their team has, as well as the team fight capabilities with that Sanctification, with that new Malthael kit, the Divine Storm as well. So, or sorry, the Divine Shield as well. Firm Handshake not out of this one yet. These Steves, you know, on the top lane, just clearing out, looking to grab some experience, like I was saying. Lex Uther positioning to make sure that his opponents don't invade. He sees that they are topside clearing the camp and decides to immediately rotate onto the siege and take those away, because those are a free object for them. I assume the Eldrin probably going to come out to look for his opponents. Level 20s now coming online for Firm Handshake. A fight's going to erupt real soon. You know, Flame as Lame has the top pressure with their Bruiser camp. Bottom is also going to pressure for Flame as Lame because of the catapults. So both these teams just positioning up, trying to take away from their opponents when it comes to vision. We do see Deadly Ice on the Dahaka looking at that mid lane, gaining vision, and same with Lex Luthor. Oh, but he's a little bit caught. The Eldrin's comes out, and the Stitches is there with the hook. Lex Luthor does get caught. The blind is out, but just not quite enough damage to really do anything substantial. The orb comes out as well, chunking out the Dig Dinosaur. But both these teams just disengaged. Those aren't the fights that either of them were looking for. I wave my hand like a Jedi there. The light of the sun 2 shrines up. This is scary. So this is a win condition for Flame is Lame, and Firm Handshake probably know this. They're looking at trying to force a fight here. They need to win one of these shrines. They have to force the dig. They have to separate the team. They have to do something to win these fights. The hook lands again on the Lex Luthor. It's probably the best target for to land on, though. Let's be honest. So, but there's the damage from this Lunara coming out. You know, it's very difficult to kill her. Or sorry, it's both A, very difficult to kill her, and B, difficult to deal with the amount of damage she comes through with, especially with the Luther pick. Pretty standard level 20s available across the board. The Holy Arena for Tyrael, so expect a lot of additional damage coming from him. Dahaka sitting on the top grabs the second keep of the game for Flame is Lame. Both these teams posturing, and now Firm Handshake are feeling the heat. They really need to turn on this team fight and get a pick. They realize this now. They're pushing forward here. We do see Lex Luthor and Vestige on the backside of this fight. They're looking to position to try to start something aggressive, but they're just not finding it. You know, Flame is Lame realizes, you know, how realistic this situation is for Firm Handshake, and it's very difficult for them to get this fight, so they just keep walking away. Lex Luthor actually manages to find Dark Chimera. He's completely caught out. The Aegis just show up, as well as the dig coming through. So much damage onto Dark Chimera. He's so caught out. Legend also gets dove on the backside. Shot now taking a massive amount of damage as well. Here's the team fight that Firm Handshake are looking for. Deadly Ice now on the retreat. The Dragon Blade comes out, but it's just for disengage. Like, Firm Handshake, fantastic job finding the Ariel there. You know, forced her away from all of her teammates. And now, Trap Queen just looking to try to stall the disengage from Firm Handshake while their core gets absolutely obliterated by the catapults in the bottom lane. 47% now for the core of Firm Handshake. Meanwhile, Flame is Lame are just going to walk top and sit on this temple and just do free damage to the core. Firm Handshake don't quite see this one, and they just start the boss, but now they're indecisive about it. Is this gonna be enough to... No, that's not enough to end the game. 5 shots? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? That is enough to end the game. That's exactly enough to end the game. All right. GG. Flame is Lame. Take the game. Oh, I rhymed there. Sorry? I'm all hot and bothered, you guys. That game got me freaking ready to go. It was a good game between these two teams. So that is evened up.